Hi everybody, my name is William Duplessie. I am a cryptocurrency trader, Bitcoin evangelist. I've been in the space since 2012 when I first saw Bitcoin. I got actively involved in around 2013, 2014 when I was at Bard College with someone named Jeremy Gardner, who you may have heard of. I tried to launch my first venture in the space in 2014 with something called CoinConnect.com. We plan to be an educational place and exchange for college students to onboard themselves into the cryptocurrency community. At the time, it was just Bitcoin. That venture I went off of and went back to school for a little bit. Was still actively trading cryptocurrencies from 2014 until today. I actively trade them as we speak. And I have been actually trading in the public market since I was 11 years old. So I have a lot of experience evaluating different things. Basically you can trade anything in life, right? Rocks, shells, etc. It's been happening for centuries. So when you look at something, you just need to, see what its viability is, what does this do in this industry specifically, because a lot of projects are out nowadays. We probably have 1,000 cryptos in existence, and a new one probably just popped up 60 seconds ago. So when you look at these deals and you look at these projects, you need to be very careful about where you put your money, because who knows what's going to be a success here, and this industry is still very young. But I have some experience in this industry clearly, and I would love to share with everybody some of the projects that I enjoy, some strategies and some of my viewpoints. So I will get started for you. If you are new to this and you've never really gotten into this, obviously your first thing you're going to try and do is make an account on an exchange somewhere and try and figure out how to get money into the market. You have a couple of options when it comes to this. What I did when I first got into this, it was very much at the beginning then, and there wasn't an easy way to buy Bitcoin. There was even a way you could get it for free off of something called Bitcoin Faucet, where you could enter your address and it would just slowly drip Bitcoin into your account. It's crazy to think about something like that being in existence today, because Bitcoin is at $15,000, $16,000, but it did exist. So back in the day, that was kind of like what was there, and the exchanges were kind of in their infancy, and you could go to a Coinbase or that, but there wasn't as much in the space as there is now. You have a lot more options. So nowadays, what I would do is probably just, if you're a novice just getting into this and you've read a little bit but want to dip your toes in, is probably just make a Coinbase account because they're the first unicorn in the industry. It's $1 billion company. And I feel safe keeping my money there personally. And that's usually people's on board into it. So you can go make a Coinbase account, and from there, if you wanted to get into other more obscure cryptocurrencies, you would have to buy your Bitcoin on Coinbase or any other exchange. I'm just saying Coinbase because a lot of people here in the United States enjoy using Coinbase. You take your Bitcoin from Coinbase and you can send it to a number of other exchanges. Now, in the space, we have one exchange here, Bittrex. A lot of people in the US like to use this exchange. We have Poloniex. People like this exchange as well. You've got Binance. This exchange just popped up. I really like this exchange. You have Gemini, the Winklevoss exchange. That is also a good exchange. You have GDAX, which is Coinbase's institutional trading platform. You can trade Ethereum, Litecoin, and Bitcoin on GDAX, which is pretty awesome. I think in the future Coinbase will begin offering more coins and more products. But for now, these are the offerings they have. So if you wanted to dip into this and you wanted to get into more advanced trading, you can do this. And they're Coinbase's institutional platform. So it's very easy for you to send your coins from Coinbase to GDAX. Additionally, we'll keep going here. We have exchanges like Kraken, which are older. A lot of the people who have been in the industry for a long time have money on Kraken. Personally, I stick with GDAX, Binance, Poloniex, and Bittrex. I'd say those are the exchanges that I use the most. And that's kind of my take on exchanges. As far as some of my favorite things that are in existence in this ecosystem today, cryptocurrency-wise, and the things that I am investing in personally are things such as Bitcoin, obviously, because it's a first mover and I believe it has the momentum. I'll speak about my views on Bitcoin and the rest of these in about a couple of minutes when I finish writing them down. I am also bullish on Bitcoin Cash. I really love Stellar. You also have XRP, which is Ripple. So I'll just write these here for those who don't understand the tickers yet. Bitcoin Cash, which was a result of a Bitcoin split. I can get onto that at a later time. Stellar, XLM, and then Ripple. EOS. I still like Ethereum because I think it has the same momentum factor that Bitcoin has, and it's used as a platform for many of the ICOs. Therefore, I think it has a big chance of success, so we can't forget Ethereum. We have Litecoin, LTC, Ethereum, sorry. Ethereum would be ETH if you wanted to find it. And that's different from Ethereum Classic. Ethereum Classic was the original Ethereum, but there was a split. Again, I can explain that at a later time. We've got Litecoin. So honestly, for this first list, I think I'll just stick with these, kind of, because these are like, we'll call these like pillars. These are some of the top market cap coins, and some of the cool stuff that's out there. But these are like kind of the mainstays. So you have Bitcoin. Bitcoin was the first of all of them. It was created by Satoshi Nakamoto in 2007, 2008, 2009. Nobody knows who Satoshi Nakamoto was. Everybody's intuition kind of points to it being a group of people. We may never know, but the fact of the matter is, who cares? It's going to change the world. It has been changing the world. I remember the day that Bitcoin transactions surpassed Western Union transactions a couple of years ago, and that was the day that I knew that this was real. So Bitcoin, in my opinion, was designed by, and this, again, this is just my opinion, was designed by the creators in order to be a fiat sucker. So it's designed to suck paper money out of the ecosystem. And I think that it's doing a great job of that. Because especially at its current price, Bitcoin is extremely inefficient as far as transaction prices and times go. Steam, the gaming company, recently stopped accepting Bitcoin for payments because a single transaction was costing $20 to confirm. So that kind of supports the point of Bitcoin being designed as being kind of heavy, laborious to move and expensive, because I think it was designed as a store of value, kind of like a cyber gold bar. And I think that will only continue to be true. And while that is true at this time, the Bitcoin core developers can always obviously improve upon this. But I think that the initial design of Bitcoin was to destroy paper money. And I think it's done a good job of sucking a lot of that out of the system so far. And it's still just the very beginning. If you're watching this now and you think you're late to the game, it is still early. So Bitcoin Cash was a split off of the original Bitcoin protocol. I really like Bitcoin Cash. It's very fast. It solves a lot of the problems that I just mentioned with Bitcoin. So I'm bullish on Bitcoin Cash. XLM, Stellar. So this project is pretty awesome. Its co-founder is actually the same guy who co-founded Ripple, which is Jed McCaleb. Really smart guy. He's been in the digital currency space for a long time. I think his first project was something called eDonkey in the early 2000s. But I actually thought he was Satoshi for a while. Anyway, XLM is awesome. They just announced a partnership with 30 banks. They also have a partnership with IBM, and I think it's a really, really great protocol. People are building some really cool projects on it. I think a good one to look at would be Stronghold.co, and that's a decentralized exchange being built on the Stellar protocol. And I think that Tammy Camp over there, who's the CEO of Stronghold, is doing a really, really, really great job of building on that protocol. So actually, I would add Stronghold.co also to this list, because I think that they're actually raising money. I think this is going to be an exchange that comes up to the top of this list in the very near future. Yeah, so XLM, very bullish on XLM. I think this is a great project. XRP, Ripple, really cool project. Ripple is designed to take care of basically, I guess the simplest way to put it would be, think about the trillions of dollars of transactions that happen globally, you know, on a weekly, monthly, daily basis, whatever it is, right? It's expensive, it takes a long time right now, and it's an old system. The business of moving money has been around for a very long time. That's how the Rothschilds got all their money way back in history, was from moving money. So that will always be a profitable business. So I think Ripple's a great project. They're focusing on building themselves into the back end of banks, bringing down transaction costs and times. And I really am bullish this project. I always have been. EOS is an amazing project. It is being run by a fantastic team. I think that they have a huge chance of being the first scalable blockchain. I'm very bullish on EOS. It's a real beast, and I love the EOS project. Ethereum was kind of like the third mover on the scene in crypto. When it first came out, I remember looking at it and being like, this is so future speaking, because it was talking about cars paying for themselves and all these different kinds of things that in whatever, 2014, 2015 seemed kind of like, whoa, that's very future. But now in 2017, now that we've seen this ICO craze that has happened off of Ethereum, because a lot of these ICOs are actually essentially a token that's built on top of the Ethereum blockchain. That's what their cryptocurrency is. I think this one has great value going into the future. I think Vitalik, who is the founder, is brilliant. And I think that you cannot ignore Ethereum. It's been around. They're doing amazing stuff. They just did the Metropolis update, so the network is very fast now. And it is cheap, much cheaper than Bitcoin. To send $400 or, you know, so in Ethereum, it's going to cost you about 40 cents or so. So, you know, a lot cheaper than Bitcoin. And, you know, it's just a cool project, and I really love it. And you're not going to be able to get me to sway away from Ethereum. And then, you know, we obviously have this Ethereum Classic thing. That's a whole story that ties into the story of cryptocurrencies and something called the DAO that created this split that would take a long time to explain, and I will explain later. But Litecoin is the next one on here. I think it's great. Can't be ignored. It's actually up 40% today as we speak, because I think people are starting to pay attention to it. It was created by Charlie Lee. It was the second protocol, Bitcoin being the first. And you gotta love Litecoin. It's not going anywhere, and none of these are. So in my opinion, if you wanted to get on board into this and you wanted to check out some stuff and do more reading after you listen to me, I think these are some of the top exchanges, and these are some of my favorite projects going on in the industry right now. There's obviously probably about 100 more, but I can't fit that on this list, and I'll have to talk about that later. But as far as a beginner, someone at home who just wants to get into this and check it out, these are the ones I would read about. And these are the ones that I think are really great projects that have great teams behind them. And there's a bunch of others, as I said, out there. But for a first timer, check out these. They'll make it a lot easier on yourself. That's all I got for today. And thank you for listening, guys.